I feel like as humans, we're very good at being like, okay, this chapter of my life is over.
Yeah.
And we do it because labeling helps, but it's like you went from being a toddler or an infant, and then you became, a teen, and then a young adult, and then an adult. And then, so we have all these labels.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like we live our life that way. It's like, okay, I was a student at university. If I went to university, and now I have a job and I'm an employee or an entrepreneur, whatever it is. And labels are useful. So I'm not going to say they aren't, but what ends up happening is you start labeling phases of your life.
Yes.
Which means now there isn't a yes and.
Yeah.
It's an either or. So it's like, I was an actress. Now I'm going to be an academic.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, I'm an academic and an actress and whatever else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's been for me. It's like, I know that the people that know me best will say, Jay, I love you because we can talk about spirituality, we can talk about business, and we can talk about communication, media, art. And I love you because we can do all those three things in one day.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, I feel so seen.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone only said one of those things, I'd feel so limited. And what I've realized is I'm now at a place where I've given myself permission to be all of myself, even if others don't give me permission to be all of those things.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
And how amazing to get to that point where I realized for a long time I was pushing for, I need everyone to understand me, and I need them to understand these decisions, and I need them to understand that I'm all of these things. And I'm like, but do you really, Emma? Do you actually really need them to get it? Or is it enough that you get it, you see it and understand it, and you're making it possible and giving yourself permission to do that? And I think once I kind of let go of like, oh, okay, it matters way more that I accept myself than that I spend so much energy and time trying to force other people to see these things about me. And then paradoxically, of course, once you let go, people start getting it. Yeah. Which is funny.
Emma, how do you see love today?
God, what a great question. How do I see love today? Oh, okay. I think I have an answer for this. How exciting. I was right there for a minute. I was like, shit, I was going to say. God, I hope I do. Am I that deep? Yeah. Okay. So, I think that, we don't talk about love nearly enough, or I think we need to talk about it so much more, because I had such not a misunderstanding, but I think I had a very limited understanding of it for a long time, which was that we see in Disney movies and in Hollywood movies this idea that like falling in love, once it's sort of happened to you, it's like irreversible, like step into this portal that you can't get out of anymore because you've fallen in love. And actually, I think falling in love might be quite easy to do in some ways. That's sort of the easy bit. The hard part is finding someone who actually wants to be in a dance with you and be in some form of partnership with you. And things like, can you argue well? Is the conflict that you have generative? And can you make someone else feel safe? Like, and when I say safe, I don't mean like out of physical danger. I mean like, can you either respond to a text message quickly enough that doesn't send the other person into like a complete free fall, and or not pelt them with so many that they feel completely overwhelmed and flooded? And like that kind of like compatibility and that kind of willingness to be in this, like, is this okay for you? Does this feel good to you? This is how it feels for me. And like there's like that constant back and forth and that constant check-in is like a game of chicken in a way, of like, can you find someone who's willing to be as vulnerable as it necessarily requires, I think, to like figure out those micro adjustments until you're sort of in some kind of dance with someone else. And that is a very different understanding that I have come to of what love is than I had. I mean, like, loving someone is so much more complex than the projections that we put on someone, or even like just lusting or having some small feeling for someone else. But I just think that we have such a black and white idea about what love is supposed to be. And I wish I'd understood more before I went into battle. I do. I really, really do. What do you think love is, Jay?
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. You're flipping this back, Emma. This is about you. It's not about
This is
me.
a conversation.
I know. I'm joking.
Or does any of what I've said resonate?
It does. It does. It resonates a lot.
Am I on the right track, Jay? I need you to tell me.
I think it resonates a lot. I grew up with a very film naive Disney version of what love was.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that version of love.
Yeah.
I loved the idea that love was this really romantic, really sweet, writing letters every day kind of love. Like that's the love I dreamed of and the love I thought of as a kid, at least.
Yeah.
And then, I think I realize that you do all of that with the first person you're with in your teens and you kind of think it's the real thing, but then they're in a mood every night for no reason and you're just people pleasing and trying to figure out what's going on and you think it's all about making that person happy and so you mold and you bend and you sabotage parts of yourself. And I realized very quickly that that wasn't love. And I think what's really interesting about love now is that marrying my wife, who I've been with now for 12 years and married for 9.
Wow.
And so it's the longest time I've ever spent with anyone. And also the only person I've been with after I left the monastery. And so there's been a certain chapter of my life that I've been with her for. And I really feel she's taught me more about love for 2 reasons. The first is she doesn't subscribe to any of the movie Disney versions of love.
Wow.
At all.
Oh my God. What education did she have? And where can I get it?
I know, literally. And the other part is that I think she's the only person I've ever loved enough to be taught by.
Oh my God.
Which is like a really interesting part of love that I think's missed. And I feel like love is the humility to feel it's humility on both parts because the other person's not actively teaching and you're actively receiving.
Yes.
So it's this really strange dance between, it's almost like if you're dancing, there has to be a humility on both sides.
Yeah.
Because it's not that one person leads and the other person follows. It's the other person's kind of like, should we do this? Should we try this? There's an anxiety and a humility in requesting that.
Yes.
And the other person gets to choose to go with it.
Yes.
Or not go and say, no, we're going to go in this direction. And that's a great dance to watch. And I feel like with my wife, she's never directly taught me, but she's challenged me in ways that if other people would have, I might have left.
Oh my God, how beautiful.
And so why am I staying? And then you go, okay, I'm staying because there's love. And so love is the ability to be taught without teaching and learning without feeling like you're being led or misled. And that for me has been a really beautiful lesson. And if I just said this to my wife out loud right now, she would just laugh because she'd just find it funny. And then she also taught me how to love me for who I was and not what I had, because I think a lot of men go through this, at least men that I'm friends with and that I've spoken to, that we want people to respect us for our success.
Yes.
And revere us for our accomplishments. It's how men have been adored since the beginning of time, for going out and getting the food, or going out there and winning the battle, or conquering a nation. And that's what you were known for. And so my wife's been with me since before my career took off and I had any success. And I think as I gained success, I think my immaturity was to want her to love me for that more. And she never did. She just didn't do it.
Wow.
And it drove me crazy. And she didn't do it in a rejecting way or it just didn't make a difference to her.
This isn't why I love you.
And it took me a long time to wrap my head around that and realize, because those are the times when you could start liking other people who love you for what you have achieved and what you have built and all the rest of it. And I think I just have so much respect for her that
she never gave in on that.
Yeah, she never gave in. And she helped me love myself for who I am. And I think that's the point, that I think I would have, if I had met someone else, I would have valued myself for very different reasons. And knowing you're with someone who truly is with you because of who you are and your character, and that's what they honor.